everyone. Welcome to But Did You Die, episode 25. Our podcast is officially a quarter of a century? Is that right?
Sure, that's quite how it works, but yeah, let's go with it. Our podcast is an adult, I
Our
guess.
podcast can rent a car. Welcome, everyone. I am Rachel, one of your favorite hosts, and that's Angie, your second favorite host, but maybe not in that order. Welcome back. You will notice I am in a new location in my beautiful green sitting room. It's dark. We're getting a lamp eventually, but
It does look like you're underwater for our visual. For anybody listening and not watching, Ray looks like she's under the sea in like a Shrekky kind of swamp, and I look like I'm on the cover of Taylor Swift's Lover. So we definitely have a light and dark thing going on right now, but it kind of suits us. I mean, sometimes I
well,
guess.
mine's more Slytherin common room, which is what I was always going for.
Yes. The paint is spectacular. It looks so good.
Hey, it's your father. It's your father. It's literally your father. Shut up, it's your dad. Yes, as you can hear, Ben is cutting the grass, and the dogs will occasionally bark at him because they forget what he looks like. But yeah, all good here. We got the house painted. We got our final pieces of furniture delivered. So we are just gearing up for, September, my birthday week, all the fun stuff.
Yes, that's now. So presents are arriving and shenanigans are in preparation as we speak for Ray Ray's big birthday party. Amazing. You must be so excited.
Well, it's nothing like my 30th birthday, which was walking the Cotswold Way, but this is still pretty cool. I don't have much planned. I'll go up to Jacksonville and see the fam. Um, but man, my friends are asking like, "Oh, what are we doing?" I'm like, I don't know. I was just gonna sit on my couch.
Welcome to your 30s, buddy.
Yeah,
It only gets better. It
yeah.
only gets better. Can I just say 31 is a great year because it's the reverse of 13. So just take that and run with it. We should probably get tattoos, but we can talk about that offline.
Well, I was thinking about doing like drinking around the world at Epcot, but it's still so hot. I don't think
I'm
I.
never doing that. I don't know if I was invited, but
Oh,
I
well,
probably wasn't invited.
you don't have a Disney pass, so you wouldn't go. And you don't drink, so
Oh,
you super wouldn't go. But it's still too hot. Like
yeah.
I might wait till October because oh my god,
There are other things you could do. I don't know what, but
I'm gonna train the dogs.
seriously, take your dogs to good dog class because they need it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so it's Ray's birthday week, which also means very expensive week for me because my husband was born the day before she was. So it's very, very expensive 2 days of my year.
Good job.
And we're going to have a party. We're going to have a sweet pool party. We're going to go to the sandbar in Jacksonville. So we'll tell you all about that.
That'll be fun.
And other than that, I don't know. I feel like I've been unwell for like 3 weeks. I had some kind of illness, didn't test positive for COVID, but felt very poorly for a couple of weeks, fever. I feel like I've had a headache for 3 weeks. It's just been very up and down. So I'm like trying to get back on the horse. It is fall. I mean, it's as much fall as we're going to get around here. I might put some fake leaves out in my house just to give the appearance of fall. Are you a decorator of Halloween? I know you
Yes.
did. You bring your ghost things from the other house?
No, we left those on the curb and some kids took them.
Oh, funny.
I'll just remake them. They were kind of janky, so I wanna try again. But yeah, we'll start decorating eventually.
Yeah.
It's just too new. Like I don't want to put the fall stuff out just yet because I'm getting
Yeah.
used to like the house things.
I don't like to decorate. I don't do a lot of decorating anyway for holidays, but what I do have, a doormat and some pillows and a wreath or something. I'm not, I'm more of like mid September, end of September for the fall stuff. And then I kind of just keep fall. I don't really do Halloween decorations. Like most I do is pumpkins. I think my upbringing, where if you said Halloween out loud, a pastor would come out and like boot you into Hades. Like
Mhm.
I just, not really a Halloween decorator.
I just had the best idea for our special Halloween episode to tell the story. You know the story.
Not that story.
That story.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that that'll be enough time. It's weeks away. It's enough time to get pumped up. Should we also be in costume
that would be
for the
fun.
Halloween
Let's do it.
episode?
I have to think
I
of
mean,
my
it's kind of
costume.
silly for a podcast, but some people watch the video of
Yeah,
the podcast.
yeah.
So, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So before we move into travel news, I want to say a special hello to Shannon, who saw after months of not seeing at Jamie's baby shower this weekend, who said she listens to our podcast. So hello, Shannon. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Shannon.
Um,
Hi.
welcome.
Was
Glad
that
you listened.
the last Halloween party I went to?
Yes, yeah.
Was Shannon was
She
there?
was Grease Lightning.
Yeah, she was like naughty Sandy, and she was so
Yeah,
adorable.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
that.
okay, travel news. Ange, you take the first half, and I'll take the second half.
Well, the first half comes to us from our aviation correspondent, well, one of our aviation correspondents, Ben, and he was telling us that Lockheed and NASA are teaming up to basically create a new technology. So the Concord style jets that fly across the Atlantic Ocean in half the time will actually be able to be used over land. So one of the reasons they can only do transatlantic is because um, there's a nasty sonic boom every time they fly because they go so fast. And so you can't just like be sonic booming over people all day, every day. So I guess they only did it transatlantically. But NASA and Lockheed are working on a technology now. So it could be that we could be flying from the East Coast to Europe in 4 hours again. That stopped long ago. You probably don't even remember
I
the
did
days.
not know that happened.
Yeah, it was like 20 plus years where the Concorde fleet was cruising back and forth. Yes, from I think Paris, London, New York. And it doesn't take any time at all. It's very quick because it goes so fast, like 1,000 miles an hour or something. But they're working on this new aircraft. It's called the X-59, and it's supposed to be shaped in such a way that it breaks up the sound waves, and so you don't get those gnarly sonic booms. Wouldn't that be amazing? Probably couldn't afford to go on it. Depending, I feel like the Concorde flights were so prohibitively expensive that it was just for like fancy business people and executives and celebrities. I don't think it was just like the regular Joes that were cruising around, but interesting nonetheless, kind of exciting. Also, if we can go that much faster, man, let's go that much faster. Let's just go that much faster.
You're telling me I can get to Europe in 4 hours?
Let's just deal with the sonic booms and get me to London for lunch. Okay.
I will be okay. If I had to listen to a sonic boom every now and again, I'll just be happy because I know y'all are going.
I'd be like, oh, you guys, you're going to London. Have so much fun. Oh my gosh.
It's only London. They're only going to London.
Oh, I love London.
Ugh. Okay, so the second part of this travel news, have y'all heard about the astronauts that are stuck in space? Because this is crazy. So there were two astronauts that went up, I want to say in June. They were only supposed to be there for a week. And then something with the spacecraft, like they heard a noise or something was a little bit strange. So they stayed up there and stayed up there and stayed up there, and they didn't know when they were going to come home. They're absolutely fine. They've done interviews. They're like, yeah, no biggie. I mean, we expected only a week, but here we are. Turns out they are not coming back now until 2025. And I think SpaceX has to go up and get them.
Yeah.
What?
Everyone I've told about this thinks they're like, yeah, that's a movie. That isn't something that's really happening. And I'm like, no, they're stuck in space. They're up there. I think they're actually on the space station now. Like they went from their thing. So they're with other people.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of getting integrated into other missions, which like, thank God. Because can you imagine being on like a wee little capsule with the same person who you're not related to? I mean, I'm sure they're cool and congenial, but like, there is nobody I want to spend 8 months with in like a 6x6 cube. That sounds horrific.
It's a Boeing, by the way. So, yeah. Come on, Boeing. Come on.
Can they get audiobooks up there and like download new stuff on their Kindle? Certainly. It's space, right?
I think so. But yeah, they've done a ton of interviews about it, and they're like, yeah, we're just kind of chilling. Like, no biggie. We'll figure it out. We'll get home. But it's like a week.
Guys, if I have to sit in traffic, I'm like, no, my life is over. I can't handle the pain. 8 extra months in freaking space
In
that I
space.
wasn't. I mean, you got to be a different kind of person to be an astronaut anyway. Like you are not an impatient, I don't know, person like me anyway. You've got a different mindset, but gosh.
Anyway, we could talk about this forever. But
Hey, speaking of group travel,
yeah, speaking of space travel, you know where you can't go on a group trip? Space. But that is our topic of the week is group travel and what does it mean? What does it mean, Ange?
I mean,
I think you know.
well, okay, so I think probably my brand is solo travel, but a big part of the travels I have done as a solo traveler have been on group trips. Seems kind of counterintuitive because you're not exactly solo traveling, but it's nice if you're a solo traveler, especially a solo female traveler in an unfamiliar destination to hop on a group trip. So there's all these different companies that plan group trips anywhere from probably 6 to 60 people depending on on the group and on the company. Some of them are specifically for women, some of them are specifically for young people like 18 to 25, some of them for older people, whatever. There's all these different tour groups. And I got to thinking about it. And we've been out with a lot of these companies. We've actually, once I started writing it down, I could not believe how many group trips we've been on. But that's because so much of our travels are work related. We're getting sent somewhere for work. So we're not actually like planning a trip for ourselves. But if I was going to a new destination, I would absolutely hop on a group trip. Lots of companies, lots of choices.
Yes. So if you're someone who wants to go to a new place but doesn't want to go for your first time alone or maybe just with one other person, group trips are a great way to do this. Ange has always been a person who's enjoyed solo travel. I am not that person. I have never ever liked going to a place alone. I think I can't. It's not fun for me. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's not for me. Group trips, I love. You meet new people. You've got someone else in charge of your itinerary, where to go, the best things to see, how to get there, how to not get scammed. All of that is wrapped up in these group trips, and they all sort of vary, and we'll get into what that looks like in a second. But a couple group trips I've been on was with a company called Contiki, and that is 18 to 35-year-olds. I did the Contiki trip when I want to say 18.
You were
And
so young.
I know, it was a 12-day tour, and it started in Berlin, and we went all the way down to Budapest. And it was the most fun thing I've ever done because it's you in a big bus with people you've never met, including 25 Australians, like 10 English people, like from all over, and, a handful of Americans. And you're just thrown into a new culture, and you're all there for the same reason. You're there to travel with people, and immediately, everyone bonds, and it's go, go, go. At least the one we did was go, go, go. But it was great.
Yes. The one, okay, so I did one with On the Go Egypt. And I did that because the year that I went to Egypt was the year of the Arab Spring. I had been traveling the world by myself, but didn't feel like the best time to be kind of out exploring Egypt alone when things were still so, peace was very tentative at that time. So I went with a group, and I don't know, I feel like we had 2 buses full of people. And there were so many people that the groups kind of just like divvied off into, we like self sorted into groups. And the group I ended up with, oh, we had so much fun. Like that was the best 2 weeks. I mean, I'm not going to say of my life, but at the time it felt like it was the best 2 weeks of my whole life. I got no sleep. I saw the sunrise every day. I mean, it wasn't, I don't think we didn't cover nearly as much ground as your Contiki Europe tours, which those are crazy how many countries you get to. I mean, we were just in Egypt, but we saw so many of the sites and in so many different ways. Hot air balloon, train, bus, felucca. We went scuba diving. We rode camels. Like we were just, on the go, fully lived up to it. And we hiked up Mount Sinai in the middle of the night. Like, what? Yeah. So it was completely nuts, but it was so much fun. And truly, you just become besties with everybody instantly. And I haven't done a group trip in a long time. You've been on more tours. Once I started thinking about it, you've been on a few.
Yeah, the one I've done, one that sticks out that was fabulous was the AAA one,
Adventures. Yeah.
Travel Club Adventure. So this one wasn't it wasn't all young people. There was hi Nora. There was a mix of all ages. I mean, from younger than me to, in their 60s. So there was levels for everyone. And we went to Jordan, and that was fabulous. We went to Wadi Rum, the desert. We stayed the night in the desert. We went to Petra. We spent 2 days in Petra doing, the classic treasury and all of that. But then the second day we went around, which I didn't even know you did. Again, because you're talking to the locals and people who have been there, where it's an all day hike around everything. So you see it in a different way. And that was great. I really enjoyed that one. And that one, again, wasn't as intense as the 12-day Contiki one, where it was, 6 a.m. sightsee until 3 a.m. club. This one was much more like, and now we're going to have dinner. And now
I
we're
would say
going to.
on the spectrum of group tours, Contiki is very much on the far end of what you're looking for. Like that's go, go, go. I'm young. I want to dance all night. Like, bah. I think probably most folks listening aren't there. I mean, unless they are, I don't know. There might be some people we know that are 35 and under who might be super into it.
I would like to go on one more Contiki before I age out.
Do you know who would love the Contiki tour?
Shannon.
Ben.
Oh.
Let me tell you about Flying Kiwi in New Zealand. I don't know if they're still around anymore because this tour was years and years and years ago. But this was like camping. So every night we were at a different campsite, and they had all the tents and all the stuff. And so you just packed and unpacked your tent or whatever every day, but they drove you to the next place. And then we could see things all along the way. They had enough bikes for everyone. So you could ride bikes at night, like cruise down to the restaurant, whatever. So it was a very outdoorsy tour versus, one where you're in museums and you're in cities and whatever. This was like we're camping on the coast in a paddock full of sheep after we went whitewater rafting during the day. And so that was a really good way to see New Zealand. And I was going to say, the 3 tours, I've done 4. I didn't even write it down. The 4 tours I've done have all been single country because I want to get really into the place. And at that point, when I started doing these big tours, I had already seen so much of Europe. And I feel like that's people's first big tour group experience is when they want to see 75 countries in like 3 days. And that's your first Europe trip, right? Like that's what you did, not your first Europe trip, but your first Europe group tour. So there's definitely a place for that. But if you want to dive into a place like I did with Egypt, New Zealand, Morocco is the other one that I forgot to write down. Even I did a group trip in Morocco. Great way to go to a country that you might not feel comfortable with on your own. If there's a country where you don't speak the language at all, you don't really know the culture, and this is such a good way. I felt so much more comfortable on a group tour in Asia where I had never been. So, I landed in Thailand at 3:00 in the morning and was like, what have I gotten myself into? And then to instantly meet people that are like, okay, I've got everything handled. I just took my little jet lagged self and followed my little guide around until I got my head screwed on straight. And she's like, eat this, don't eat this. And I'm like, okay. And I was out of it, but it was great because it's nice to have the help. You don't have to be this independent person because that's,
Popular and trendy. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of pros to it, I'd say. And there's places like once you've gone once, then next time I go to Thailand, I probably won't take a tour because I've done it. I'm much more comfortable and I can go back and kind of explore on my own, or maybe I will. I don't know, because it is easy.
Yeah.
It is easy. But the cons, I would say, it really depends on you picking the right itinerary for your vibe. I know now that I would not want to do a go, every day is something because I get burned out. after a couple of days, even in Egypt when it was so fun and I was having the best time of my life, if I couldn't fit one more Egyptian fact in my mind,
Yeah.
and I wanted to, but I was like, I can't absorb the history of this temple because hello, there's 5 to 10,000 years of Egyptian history. And if you're just kind of like, oh, hi, I'm here for Cleopatra and King Tut, like it's just a lot and it's hard to process all of it.
And then you also mentioned a con, which was, go, go, go. It's a lot to take in. Yes, I agree. Like Jessie has to have a nap every day at 3. So like, I don't know if a group trip is for her. I like group trips because if I don't have a go, go, go schedule, I will just rot. So if someone's telling me to meet somewhere and do something, I like that more because
when you and I are together, like when we went to Paris, we definitely spent like 4 hours a day laying on the ground in the park, just like lollygagging, which couldn't be more Parisian and culturally lovely, but we didn't see everything, And so there's that whole balance of like, is it a trip? Is it a vacation? Are you more tired after your trip? I'm really glad that I did a lot of these really intense trips in my 20s and 30s because now I'm like, oh, I don't know if I got 2 weeks of go, go, go in me without, like you said, naps, downtime, introvert time, toes up time. Like, I got to have a day to rot in between.
I bet you could do it. I bet you would surprise yourself. I bet you'd be exhausted after.
Here's the thing, I totally can, but at what cost? Then I come home and lay on my couch for 4 weeks because I just had a great vacation?
Yeah. I mean, I guess memories of your life. Come on.
Now you're making me want to go on another group trip.
I'm like, where could we go?
You're making me want to go on a group trip again. And since you mention it, I've been thinking about leading a group trip in 2025 or 2. And I was thinking, because I have so many fans of the book now who want to go to these destinations, what if we went to Egypt? Ooh. And recreated my trip, but with friends and family and just, people we like. And then that got me thinking, Egypt is probably on the somewhat pricier end of trips. What if we also did a more budget-friendly one, like in Central America, where we all go to Costa Rica and like explore the jungle and meet a sloth
and get our teeth fixed?
It's a dental trip. Yeah, we all go to the dentist. And then that got me thinking that next year is the 250th anniversary, or it's Jane Austen's 250th birthday. So what if we resurrect the trip that got canceled that you and I had planned because COVID canceled our whole year of group trips? What if we do our Jane Austen festival trip in Bath and we all wear costumes and we all frolic around together in sisterly affection? Like, won't that be so great? So group trips are definitely something we're thinking about. But I need to know if people are actually interested in that because a group trip is not a group trip if it's just me and Rachel. So if anybody listening wants to go, holler and tell us like what destinations appeal to you and if you would want to go sometime next year.
Very nice. Yeah, I think all of those would be fun. I've never been to Egypt, so that would be cool. Or Costa Rica. I've been to Bath twice.
Costa Rica's so easy.
Yeah,
Costa Rica's easy.
That'd be fun. Yeah. For real, though, if you want to go, like, let us know, because if no one says anything, we won't do it. Let us sister know. Okay, so we've talked group trip. Let's talk the disaster. And I've got a fun one. So the Contiki trip, it's known for, parties and young people and all kinds of shenanigans. There was a boy on that trip who years later found me on Facebook and messaged me and said, hey, you're getting kind of fat. And like, that was it. And that kind of sucked.
You're not giving any background. Are you not going to give any background to this story?
What background?
Well, like the advice I gave you before you went on the trip
that
you then discarded.
Okay, I was 18. I was young. There was an Australian boy, and I kissed him.
Listen,
I kissed him every day.
And then 5 years later, he called you fat.
And then 5 years later, well, he asked me to move to. He asked me to move to Australia after this trip. It was a lot, and I was like, I don't know you. You were just my little fling for Europe. And then, yeah, he found me on Facebook and called me fat.
He seems nice.
Yeah, I should have moved to Australia.
I think you maybe dodged a bullet on that one. But
Oh,
yeah,
you
so
don't.
that was a disaster, I guess.
That's hilarious.
There's also the thing you get so swept up in the fun of it all, and you spend so much money. Like, you go into it thinking, I have a budget. And then I was like, budget? I have unlimited budget. I'm doing the extra hot air balloon ride. I'm doing the upgrade to this. Like, anytime there was an upgrade on any of these, I'm like, oh, do that. You only live once. And I'm like, who are you talking to? You need a job. And I mean, anytime there was an upgrade, even on the camping trip, they're like, we can upgrade you to a hostel or hotel tonight. I'm like, yes. Why did I sign up for the camping trip if I was just going to pay? Anyway.
That's a good one because your trip is paid for, most of your meals, most of your activities, but there's always extras. And yeah, your friends are like, "Oh, we're going to go to the spa. Do you want to go?" And you're not going to say no. So I probably spent $1,000 extra on all of my group trips because it's such a we're here. What's $50 more? And then you get home and you're
When
like,
am I going to be back in Egypt? You might not ever get to go there again. So you might as well spend the money. Can't take it with you. Like, who is this? Who is this girl that used to be so fiscally responsible?
and travel tip, do it because money does come back and I've got no regrets. Which is literally Contiki's slogan. No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets. They got me. They got me good. Hey, that was a fun topic.
Yes, it was. And now I cannot wait to go on another group trip. I'm
No,
kind of
no.
like re-energized and back into it.
Cool. All right. Hey, I know what you're doing this weekend, and it's hosting me and Ben at your house.
Yeah, can't wait for you guys to arrive. I'm super excited. I'm going to make snacks, and I got you presents, and like I've been just getting the house ready already. The things I do for my sister to come over. I cleaned the rug.
It does not feel like my birthday.
Why? Because there's not a hurricane bearing down on Florida? It's still a few days away.
That, and I think just all the house things, I'm like, so like, I have a house, so I'm not like, oh, and now I'm 31, so.
Yeah, you're still kind of getting used to your new surroundings. So, yeah. I think that's probably a lot of it. Now that it's not fall, but let's just call it fall. What travel plans do you have coming up? Are you going anywhere in the last few months of the year?
Yes,
We have
and
4 months to go.
yes, at the end of September, I will be directing an episode in Texas. And at the end of October, I will be directing an episode in Long Island. Yeah.
We have to talk about that because I might have to come with you.
Yeah.
And visit my in-laws.
That's a wrap on another epic episode of But Did You Die with Jet Sisters?
And great news, we did not die. We are still here. We are kicking. And we are going to figure out some places to go together next year. So
Yeah.
truly, if you have thoughts, let us know because I have a meeting this week to discuss group trips with a company.
Ooh.
So it's happening. It's on. Don't be calm. If you enjoyed our show, don't keep it a secret. Hit the like button, share with your travel buddies, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
And hey, if you're feeling extra generous, leave us a review. It helps spread the laughter and keep us flying high and make it nice, or Ange will cry.
Yeah, don't leave us a bad review. That would be stupid. Why would anyone do that? Until next time, remember, travel safe and always ask yourself, but did you die?
Catch you on the next flight.